And it's clear, sir, that yesterday there were several questions regarding infrastructure and pipelines. And then one that really sort of fits near and dear to you is with your district butting up against New York. There was a lot of questions that came into the standpoint of, now that we see that Boston has to import natural gas from foreign sources, Russia, is there anything that you can share with us that is your view from Washington, D.C., that's being done to maybe help streamline, help force pipelines to get built? Because it's obvious that Pennsylvania, your constituents, would benefit that we can get this natural gas from Susquehanna County to Boston. So anything that you can share with us from your standpoint that you know that you're working on to help get these pipelines built?
That's actually a great point, George. And I just want to say that when we look at this, it's not only just helping our district, it certainly helps all of America when we talk about energy independence and not transferring U.S. dollars over to Russia and actors that don't support our values and our interests. And really, that's really what our message has been. And another thing that we're working on with any infrastructure bills, we're also looking at what we can do, as far as interstate commerce, being able to make sure that, and that's sort of how I've been looking at this and the things we've been looking into, to treat this like interstate commerce. It'd almost be like, if New York didn't want an interstate highway coming through, they'd say you got to stop Interstate 81 at the Pennsylvania border, and you can't come across, up to Binghamton. You got to stop there just north of Scranton. It's not practical. And when we're talking about infrastructure, we're not just talking about roads and bridges. We're talking about all those things you don't see too, which is pipelines. And so our discussion has been on what we do to make sure that this is included in any infrastructure project as far as pipelines. Been a huge, got a lot of support for that. And then also looking at some of the avenues, because I know there was some court decisions and things going on, but looking at what this is for interstate commerce, which is certainly within the purview of the federal government to make sure that we have states that allow that commerce to happen freely between states and across our borders. So those are the things we're really pushing for, to try and make sure that our natural gas gets used rather than Russian natural gas in New England.
Yeah, well, it needs to say we appreciate that, because again, there definitely needs to be that coordination, that mandate from DC, that again, states cannot stand in the way solely to block development, especially at a time when you may have a manufacturer who can create or manufacture a ventilator in New York, yet they're being held hostage and they can't get natural gas. So that is definitely something that we need to see happen. Congressman, I know there's another. Yes, sir.
If I can just jump in, George, and you're talking about manufacture of ventilators, and when we talk about natural gas development and making sure pipelines are available to help manufacturers, it's also making sure too that some of the other things that are made from the products in natural gas and petroleum products, the people understand. We have Penn State University is helping with 3D printing and making masks and shields for PPE. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and I think that there's members of Congress and other political figures, and I'll point to New York State, that need to understand. And when I point to New York State, I'm talking about the Green New Deal and the governor from one person wanting to get rid of fossil fuels and the other person not wanting to have these pipelines, travel to New England. And again, I would tout the environmental benefits of a pipeline, a safe pipeline, which I know everybody does very well. You're not continually expending fuel to transport this natural resource to where it's needed.
Understood. A great point, and I appreciate you making that one. And again, as you are debating the laws proposed and hopefully enacted in DC, I know there is an effort for many of our industry to help see a new pipeline safety bill get passed. So again, something that we could use your assistance on getting that bill put forth.